As of me saying these words, a lot of people have worked for AEW. This sends the internet into meltdown because for some reason, some folk can't handle individuals getting a job, but we just ignore about that and we do the positive thumb of love. All Elite Wrestling has been around for a few years now though, to the point, now when you bring up certain wrestlers and you tell some other fan, they look at you like, well, that can't possibly be true because it doesn't make any sense. But yes, that is what we're going to talk about today. So hello, my name is Simon Miller. Welcome to What Cultural Wrestling. Please hit the subscribe button and like and do all that kind of craziness. And this is 10 wrestlers you totally forgot worked for AEW. Number 10, Gigi Dolin. Right now, Gigi Dolin is a top act over in NXT 2.0. I mean, not only is she a tag team champion, as of me saying these words, but she is in the dominant group Toxic Attraction, and if you are familiar with her work, you know she can go. And while she was never properly signed to AEW, she did appear there under her name Priscilla Kelly, where she took on Britt Baker when AEW was on Chris Jericho's boat. Now, she did lose to Britt Baker here, and after the fact, everybody was talking about the fact that Baker had turned heel after she had gone, ha ha, Tony Schiavone, you nothing but a barista, but a fact is a fact. The thing is, given that she is so young, there's every single chance that one day she may return to AEW. I mean, I doubt they would talk about that. I'm just throwing this out there. Number 9, Diamond Dallas Page. This almost feels like we dreamt it today, but yes, a couple of years ago, DDP did indeed appear in AEW. He first popped up on the 23rd of October 2019 episode of Dynamite to help out Cody Rhodes, who at the time was entangled in a wicked web with the Inner Circle. Given how close he was to Dusty Rhodes, this made perfect sense about why he would help his son, and then he came back to All Elite Wrestling when MJF won the first ever diamond ring in order to give him the piece of jewelry. However, that did not go very well, so, if you can believe it, he actually entered a match where he took on Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the Butcher and the Blade. This happened at Bash at the Beach as he teamed up with QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, and obviously they did lose, but we still got to see one last diamond cutter. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. I popped crazy for this, because who doesn't love DDP? Number 8, Cameron. This one was so out of nowhere. Maybe it was brought forward by the fact that we were in the middle of a global pandemic, so AEW felt like they should continue to throw new ideas at the wall. But we did have this Women's Tag Team Cup thing on YouTube, and yes, on one of the teams was Cameron. She teamed with Nyla Rose under her real name, Ariana Andrew, and the former Funkadactyl actually did have a little bit of a story here, because Nyla was like, I don't want to team with her, she's probably going to make me lose. Since then, Ariana too has also returned to WWE in the Royal Rumble. This is pretty good because she essentially became a meme for a while, because if you remember, her first taste of wrestling was in Tough Enough, where she told Stone Cold Steve Austin her favorite match ever was Melina versus Alicia Fox. Steve Austin then broke down. I tell ya, it was a great time to be alive. Number 7, Kalisto. When FTR were featured with the Lucha Brothers, they decided it would be really funny if they started dressing up as luchadors and kind of doing the lucha style. As ever, when it comes to Cash and Dax, they took all of this and they smashed it. To try and further this too, Tony Starr booked them against Aerostar and Samurai Del Sol on November 2021 episode of Dynamite, which meant, yes, here was Kalisto from WWE walking towards an AEW ring. As it turned out, this would be a one and done, because even though he did fine when it came to the wrestling, there was a lot of controversy on social media beforehand. It certainly felt like he pissed the wrong people off. So if I was a betting man, which I'm not because you should use your money wisely, I don't think we're going to see him back. Number 6, Colin Delaney. Colin Delaney is essentially the modern day Barry Horowitz. If you don't know who Horowitz is, just jump back to the 80s or 90s and you will see him in squash match after squash match after squash match. Now, he's always the guy being beaten, but for some reason, he just did it so well. He patted himself on the back. I love Baz. Colin had this role in WWE CW as well as a ton of other promotions and basically became one of the guys you wanted to reach out to if you just needed to bring somebody in to have a decent match, hence why eventually AEW went, well, we can do that too. This saw him have losing efforts against the likes of Eddie Kingston and Wardlow, and he even teamed with Shawn Spears as Spears was doing his whole, oh my gosh, I need to find a tag team partner. And as ever, this was really entertaining, because it was essentially the chairman just yelling at Colin like he was a piece of trash. The roster has grown so much, I don't think we'll see Colin back anytime soon, but when you do go over his career, given that not everybody can be a world champion, well, ironically, we should give him a pat on the back. Number 5, CROWBAR. Go back and watch WCW from the year 2000s and you will realize this is an absolutely dreadful wrestling product and it's no surprise that it died. However, there were a few spotlights in the darkness, one of which was CROWBAR along with Daphne, who did their very best to try and be entertaining. After World Championship Wrestling was gone, CROWBAR did go on to appear in TNA and some other indies for a while. So in 2021, someone from AEW thought, well, why don't we bring him in? They did. Having a match against Joey Janela on Dark, of course he did lose, but much as he did 20 or so years ago, he came in and he just did the best job possible. We never saw him again, but if you are into wrestling trivia, especially how long somebody took a gap between major promotions, well, you should probably put CROWBAR down on that list, because I bet he features. Before ODB. I have watched pretty much everything that AEW has done, but even I forgot that ODP had an appearance. I mean, my word, we've done a lot in 3 years. Mostly known for her time in TNA, she probably would have got a gig with WWE at some point if her act hadn't been distinctly non-PG. However, because she was a recognizable name, eventually AEW gave her a shot. She entered the Casino Battle Royal all the way back in 2019, mostly because we had to have a few surprises here. It's like the Royal Rumble. Think how many times you've watched that and you don't get any shocks, you feel like a sad panda, so this was a way to make you feel like a happy bear. After a brief stare down with Nyla Rose because they're both beasts, she was able to help eliminate Awesome Kong before Britt Baker got rid of her. That was it. Draw a line under it. She was gone. Number 3, Tully Blanchard. Yes, Tully Blanchard has featured in AEW a lot. He was the long-term manager of FDR before they turned face, and he basically did a really, really good job. The part you may have forgotten, though, because so much was happening, is that this veteran of the wrestling scene actually had a match. Forget the fact that he was 67 years old at the time. Tully did indeed team up with his boys, Cash and Dax, in order to take on Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. And by the time he was doing his classic slingshot suplex onto Marco, everybody was gone crazy. Amazingly, this was super entertaining too. I mean, FTR controlled everything as they always do, but in no universe should Tully Blanchard been able to perform at the level he did. Almost like he's got some skills. Dave Meltzer, he of Wrestling Observer fame, even gave this match 3 3/4 stars, which means it's higher rated than The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. And did I put that in there in order to flame the comments? Yes, I did. Number 2, Glacier. Another one I totally forgot about because I'm pretty sure I just made it up in my head. I didn't. Happening in the first Double or Nothing in the men's casino battle royale to tie into those surprises we were talking about earlier, AEW obviously knew that their crowd was super duper hardcore and thought, who can we bring back that will absolutely get a reaction? And they picked Glacier. I mean, for one, he's become an internet meme recently because he took so damn long to actually debut way back when in WCW, but also he is just one massive Mortal Kombat ripoff. And even in the modern day, that's just kind of cool. I mean, he did absolutely nothing in the match, but he didn't need to do anything. People just wanted to point and go, ha ha, it's Glacier. This one still pleases me. Number 1, Tommy Dreamer. Glacier wasn't the only recognizable old school face in that match either, because do you want to know who else was in it? I mean, you already know, but it was Tommy Dreamer. The best part of all of this too is that the winner of this battle royal was going to go on to the next pay-per-view in order to fight for the world title, which meant Dreamer totally must have thought he could have won. This didn't happen, obviously, and his main role was to shine a spotlight on the likes of Orange Cassidy and Sonny Kiss because they were brand new performers and AEW wanted to make sure you walked away going, I should think about them more. Tommy was soon gone, and obviously following controversies makes this a little less fun, but a fact is a fact and a fact is a fact. So has Tommy Dreamer appeared in AEW? Yes. Yes, he has. Know of any other wrestlers that we all totally forgot appeared for All Elite Wrestling? Make sure you let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Then head over to whatculture.com where you can read articles like this and expand your wrestling knowledge. You can follow us on social media or on Twitter at Simon316 or WhatCultureWWE, and you're already on YouTube. I'm sure you've got a spare 8 minutes. Go watch another video. My name is Simon for What Culture. Thank you for joining me as always. I appreciate you, I appreciate your time, and of course I appreciate Glacier. See you soon.